Ayo, what's good? It's Tara Mascara, and you're listening to the Mirror episodes. I'm your host, hairstylist, and habitual secret keeper. My clients get to pick a hidden question from the mirror with no script, no filters, and definitely no bullshit. Let's go. Today I have Rose with us, and Rose is going to pick a reflection question. So, Rose, which number would you like?
I will go with 2.
2, okay.
What are you
Pretending.
Pretending not to know. What am I pretending not to know? Oh.
Take your time, no rush.
I'm pretending not to know. So my first thought is like how to speak up for myself. And pretending, I think I'm pretending not to know that. I think if I really tap in, I know exactly what to say and what to do, and
So what's holding you back from not doing it?
The ego, just, thinking, being so worried about how someone might react and affect my sense of self if I stand up for myself and get a backlash, that I might internalize another person's opinion. That, I fear taking on someone else's opinion and really losing a sense of self.
Do you feel like you're losing a sense of self by not speaking up for yourself?
Yes, and I would say, yes, there's quite a bit of that, but I think it's just a protection thing, and I need to let go of that need for protection. I mean, not let go of the need for protection. I still need to protect myself, but also at the same time, like, trust that I'll be fine, because I do know how to stand up for myself, but yet, like that question, like, what are you pretending not to know? Pretending that I don't know how to do it is that level of I'm staying safe. Yeah.
Yeah. Just going a little deeper, is it staying... So what is, like, I'm just trying to get, like, the underlying fear, right? Because, like, ultimately that's what it is. We're scared of the way someone's going to react if we decide to take action and be really strong about, no, I'm not going to accept this poor behavior.
Right.
Do you feel like you are keeping yourself small, that you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not? By pretending not to know, right? Like, to be like, oh, I don't know how to stand up for myself. Like,
right.
Deep down, you're like, no, I know what I need to do. I'm not doing it. So, so we need to figure out why you're not doing it. And I think, just to reiterate what you're saying, is that, it's to protect your ego. I'm just going to repeat back to you a little bit.
Yeah.
To protect your ego. But what about... Like, is it your ego that you're protecting?
I don't know if that's a good question. Like, I don't know if it's the ego part. It's some part of myself that's like, Well, actually, what's coming more up is I think it's kind of that princess syndrome that we got and instilled in us through Disney or whatever, through like, well, I can't say us as a whole, but I know for myself, like, oh, I can't stand up for myself, like somebody else, like the somebody else rescue thing. Um, you know,
What do you mean?
like, oh, the prince came to rescue Sleeping Beauty. All the princesses got rescued by somebody else, and there wasn't ever like I can get myself out of this. So I think that there's a bit of that identity that that if I no longer continue pretending, then I'm gonna lose that identity of being need to be rescued, and then I'm gonna be alone, type of thing.
What a story. What a story you're telling yourself.
Right?
Because what would it look like if you threw all of that out the window? You know, because, you know, you're single now, right?
Right.
So, to me, it doesn't sound like it would be harming that situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you are so and again, I'm just like, this is my armchair psychology talking. It's like armchair psychologist talking. Right. But, you know, you've created this, or this persona has been created, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you are in a position where, you know, maybe that is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just guessing, judging by what you're saying right now.
Yeah.
But maybe you are in a position right now where you've gotten used to maybe being the princess. Is that?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. That's also really big to admit, so kudos for that. That's huge, right? I mean, most people, like, would not say that. They'd be like, I'm
yeah.
So, kudos to you for that. That's big.
It's not a personality trait I enjoy, but yeah, it's there.
Okay.
And I think it's funny that I'm saying it as I'm getting my hair all done up, princess style.
Well, now that you have verbalized that, and you know, maybe you've verbalized it before, but now that that's coming into play about pretending not to know how to stand up for yourself, you know, maybe this persona, or this part of yourself, part of your personality that has been either ingrained in you or learned behavior,
right?
Maybe from your parents, you know, maybe I don't know,
media,
right? Like Disney.
Disney.
I mean,
that's
Disney,
what I was mentioning.
Disney, yeah.
Disney,
like that really. Disney has fucked kids up, like, you know, because we know that ain't the truth. Like, I wonder, and you know, with Odysseus, your son, I'm wondering if you've watched any like revamped Disney movies, and have they changed the plots? Have they changed that to where women are more strong with their self-worth, not needing a man to come save them, you know?
Right.
Like creating this illusion that we are not complete if we don't have a man.
Right.
We can't do anything for ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, so I'm wondering if Disney, so that's a two-part question. I mean, it's wondering, have you seen any movies where that has changed, where the outcome has changed in Disney?
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't, I don't think Disney did Maleficent. I don't know who was but did you ever see Maleficent?
No, I don't do Disney.
Oh, it wasn't Disney. I don't think it was Disney. It might have been Disney, but I don't think it was. But it was a revamp where they...
Like with Angelina Jolie?
Yes, that one.
No, I never seen that.
Okay, I highly recommend that one if you're... because it does kind of go into the... a little bit of the revamp that the prince, like the backstory of it all, of how this lady came to be. So it's a pretty good revamping. But just to veer back to the where does it come from is kind of it's sort of a pointless thing. Like, I could try to go down that rabbit hole of like, it's like, okay, how do I feel with stepping out of pretending I don't know how to stand up for myself. And
Like, do you know what that would look like? Like, what does it look like when you don't stand up for yourself?
kind of peaceful. And I know that sounds weird, but like, oh, I just kind of sit back and like kind of take what's dealt, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna just, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna, it's peaceful. I enjoy not really standing up for myself. And there's also a part of me that's like, oh, I should say something. Like, that thing that was said to me didn't feel good. Like, I should have said something. And the ingrained people pleasing piece needs to be let go, and that everybody's not going to like you, and you need to be okay with that. I feel like needs to get more ingrained with me, and the right people be in your life that care about you and all that, and that's where a bit of my ego needs to die. Is, oh, I want everybody to like me, and why wouldn't they like me, type of thing. It yeah. And I think if I just trust that like, oh, the people that are meant to come into my life will be there, and those that are not will not be there, or they'll come and go. Just getting really more comfortable with that sense of trusting the universe and how my life path is gonna flow, and stepping into my power of like, okay, if I don't feel something's right, I'm not gonna just back down and walk away. I'm gonna say something and let the cards fall where they're meant to fall. Will look. I'll feel less like a princess and more like a queen, I guess. Like, okay, this is how it's gonna go, and yeah, like, oh, I'm not gonna just sit back and take stuff, and I think it'll feel good.
So knowing that it would feel good and also slightly uncomfortable, right? Because you're kind of going against the grain of what your tendencies have been for many years, right?
Right.
So I think maybe, and this again is just my armchair psychology, but I think maybe that's a component of it too. You have created, not you, your personality is created as such, just going with the princess thing, right? You said it.
Yeah.
But that creates a sense of comfort, right? Where you're used to people doing things for you. You have, this like level of lifestyle where, not level of, but your lifestyle where you're like, cool, I'm used to this. This is how I operate, and it's going to be very uncomfortable for you. And people don't like being uncomfortable.
Yes, we gear towards pleasure. What is pleasurable, and that's why I was saying, oh, it's peaceful when I stand up, when I don't stand up for myself, because there's not going to be any backlash. Like, for instance, when I was called a effing idiot, and instead of defending myself, being like, no, I'm not an idiot. Like, I don't even remember what it was about. Probably something simple, but regardless, even if I wasn't being not making the smartest move, being called names is just not appropriate.
Did that feel peaceful?
That didn't feel peaceful, but I didn't stand up for myself. really.
Right. Well, that's what I mean, because you said I when I don't stand up for myself, it feels peaceful.
It feels peaceful.
So what feels better? What feels better, like being called a fucking idiot or like not standing up for yourself? You know?
Yeah. Like I kind of. I mean, the way I stood, I kind of stood up. I can't say I totally
Who called you a fucking idiot?
Oh, my ex.
Okay.
But yeah, like, and I diverted because where I was right in front of my son, which was like I want to really instill within my son, like, name calling is not okay, and so I sort of like I didn't really say, hey, like, the way that I stood up for myself was, your daddy is unable to process his emotions, so he's saying these kind of things.
But what if you said, that's not how you speak to anybody, because that's not respectful. And so teaching your son to stand up for himself, like, would you be okay with him? Is this where you're going? Am I jumping ahead?
Well, no, I mean, you're not jumping ahead, but those instincts, because I don't want to argue, I don't want to stand up for myself, not a, dude, you're not speaking respectful, this is not how you speak to somebody, you know, I didn't direct to him. I looked away from him. I talked to my son, telling him that his daddy's not acting appropriately.
But that's giving him an excuse for poor behavior.
Right.
Like, that's showing your son that, I mean, I don't know. But
it's more, yeah, it's like I haven't flexed those muscles to feel safe, and like, I'm gonna face this conflict right on. I'm gonna talk to him right away, and because it's gonna make him, it's not gonna protect me. He's just gonna come back, and say something worse, that I can't defend myself against. Like, it's just gonna go down. So I'm like, okay, since it's gonna go down this rabbit hole of probably more insults, I'm gonna just try to instill that to my son, like, oh, he's not acting good, instead of saying something directly to him.
But your son is learning that there are no consequences for poor behavior. You know, that you can
can complain, but
but he's just going to hear it again. He's going to hear his dad say that again to you. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
But this could be
the pattern.
It's a pattern, but it could also be your path. It could be your path to flex those muscles.
Right.
Because what's the worst that could happen?
That's the question that I need to have in my mind anytime that I stand up for myself, is what's the worst that could happen? And yeah, that's because really,
what is the worst that could happen? Let's role play, not role play, but let's
go down that rabbit hole of what's the worst that could happen.
Exactly. So let's say your ex, no naming names.
Right, no naming names,
but let's say your ex, right? He called you, fucking idiot again, right? In front of your son.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so how did that? So just again, I'm gonna ask how we could flex your muscles, right? To like build up the self-confidence to be like, no, I'm not accepting of you calling me names, you know, in front of our son, no less. You're teaching your son that it's okay to treat women like this, especially your mother. Like, it's okay to see your father treat your mother like that.
Yeah.
You know, so there's that component, which we're going to get to in a second. But I also just want to touch on the fact that, how did it feel when he called you a fucking idiot? Did that feel worse than you standing up for yourself?
Well, I mean, like I said, I didn't really stand up for myself in that scenario.
Right. Okay. So let me try to say it differently. So was it better to feel comfortable, and peaceful, just going with your own words? Because technically, just by what you said, that if you don't stand up for yourself, it feels peaceful, right? So did someone calling you a fucking idiot, did that feel peaceful?
No. But what did feel peaceful is not continuing arguing with him.
That is how narcissists remain narcissists.
Yeah.
That, because they just know that you're not going to say anything. You know, they along with whatever has happened with your past childhood, blah, blah, blah. We all know that has shaped us.
Yeah.
So he has, over the years that you guys have been together and then have not been together and then doing co-parenting, he has created this system where he can, again, what we were talking about before, we've said it, putting myself in your situation, it's like, I'm kind of invested, let's just be real, it's been a few years, a long time I've been doing your hair, so, okay, so when we, you know, he's setting up the system where he can essentially do that because he's beaten you down, you know, verbally for so many years that he knows exactly what to do so that you are not going to say anything. And this is how narcissists operate, because they're like, she's not going to say anything. I can basically steamroll her and say whatever the fuck I want because she's not going to come back at me because you want to pander to him because it's easier. It's more comfortable. But you know what? We don't grow in comfort. We do not. Truly. We grow in discomfort. And, you know,
the diamonds, the butterflies.
The butterflies, 100%. You know, that shit looks really painful. Coming out of the chrysalis or whatever.
Going into completely, yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe this is a really valuable, like, insight, you know, and that's kind of why I'm doing this, you know, to be able to share everyday wisdom that you guys bring to the table. And also it makes you, like, they're called reflection questions for, you know, for a reason.
Reflecting that. I mean, that's a really good one. I didn't expect that one. I was like, oh, you're like, you can't, I did my little woo-woo muscle testing thing, like, okay, should I go with 1? Should I go with 2? And I got 2 was the one. I was like, okay. And then it was, why are you like, pretending not to know? Okay. Right? Yeah. I'm curious about the others, but do you change them every?
I'm going to do them by season. So the first season, I'm going to have all the same. Okay. And I think I'm going to do like maybe 8 episodes or 12, whatever, however I'm feeling, with the same questions, because that's how I'm going to line it up in the podcast. And then in the fall, I'm going to do so these are the summer questions, and I'm going to do fall questions. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Rose, I want to say thank you so much for participating. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. And
thank you for sharing yours.
Thank you.
Your armchair psychology. That's cute.
You know, hopefully someone can really connect with that and, you know, find some understanding. I know that I can, you know, there's a lot of times in my life where I didn't stand up for myself, you know, many, many times, because it's easier to but that's not the move. That's not the medicine. That's not what we're meant to do. We're meant to rock the boat. We're meant to speak our truth. We're meant to show people that they cannot control us or steamroll us, that we're stronger than that, because we are not princesses. We're fucking queens.
Yes. True.
You just listened to.
All right. Well, thank you again so much, Rose.
Thanks for walking the line with us.
You're welcome.
If you liked what we had to say and want some more of this, please hit the like and subscribe button. It's a free way to support the channel, and I truly appreciate the love. Until next time, stay rooted, stay real, and may all of your secrets stay sacred.